Um, and of course, it's Southampton this weekend. Pete, if you were the manager, what's your starting 11? Would you make changes from the team that played at Stoke? It was a 4-5-1 at Stoke. You had Granero, Fowling and Diakite in the middle, Tarab and Hoylett both playing with Djibril Cissé in attack.
I wouldn't change it. I mean, there would be a question mark whether you'd have Zamora instead of Cisse. I don't think after a defeat you should change it. I think we may have.
You don't think after a defeat you should change it?
Not necessarily. I think you've got to have.
You'd only change it if you win.
No, what I'm sorry. Okay, let's make
3-0. We've got to change it.
No, what I meant was we've lost the game. Don't react to that. Let's try and keep a same 11, because sometimes I think you can react to a result and change it just for the sake of changing. We've already come out of that game and said how well we played. We didn't get the chances, but we played well. So let's stick with the same 11. I don't like all this tinkering around, you know. And I've said the early part of the season, if Parker's good on the right, let's play him on the right. If he's fit, I don't know. And if it is the best combination of midfield, like we said, with Granero, Fowling, Diakite, let's keep it that way, you know. And I would imagine as a player, what breeds confidence is knowing you're going to be in the first team week in, week out. And if you're playing well, if you get dropped, then I would imagine, you know, as the team's losing, there might be a little bit of, I'm good enough to get in the team. I don't know if that is the kind of mentality that you'd feel, Richard.
It's difficult when the team are losing and you're training well. It is hard not to feel hard done by if you're not being picked or selected. Then again, if the team are playing well, you've just got to roll your sleeves up and go, you know what, I'm going to work harder next week and hopefully the gaffer will be fair. And it seems like he's being fair because he's given everyone a try this season. But I do think that this formation, we call it 4-5-1, and I'd like to see it as a 4-3-3, you know, and play Cisse up top by himself, or even Zamora, and then you have your two wide men in Hoylett and Adele, just trying to come into the holes and get our fullbacks pushed on as well. I really like the look of Traore. He looked great. He looked very speedy.
We've got a very attacking lineup, really, when you think about it. And you know, Traore gets down the wing, Tarab gets in the box.
And Traore's got great delivery as well with that left foot.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
one of the best crosses in the team, I think.
Yeah. And I think he's got a great chemistry with Adele at the minute. You know, the thing is, when you play as a fullback and you play with your winger, that chemistry has to be good. You have to have a good rapport and a good connection, because a lot of the times as a fullback you'll be running 50-60 yards to overlap Adele, and you know what Adele's like. Half the time he's not going to play you and he's going to look for a spectacular ball. Invariably he'll find it. But imagine Traore making all those runs. Now if he's not getting the ball,
he stops making those runs.
He'll stop and he'll get a bit peeved. He'll be angry.
And it's no secret they're very good friends away from when they play. So does that help as well?
You can see it. Yeah. I didn't know that, but I saw it last week. I saw Traore make countless runs past Adele, and then he's running back, and he's running back with confidence, not thinking, you know, because that's when you can see a split in the team. Sometimes you make a run, you holding your hands up and trying to remonstrate, and I didn't see any of that, and I could see they must be good friends to be acting like that.
And the back four, how important is it that is consistent as well? Because Mark Hughes has had a nightmare in terms of injuries from the start of the season to his full-backs, to centre-backs, and now Mbia obviously suspended as well. How key is the back four as a more attack-minded player? Did it help you to have that same back four, or did it make any difference to you?
Yeah, I think when I played I had quite a settled back four. But I think for us, I think it's more about what we're doing going forward. You know, we've got, I think if we keep things basic at the back, keep things solid, that's important. But where we're going to win the game is in that midfield three and the two wide guys in Hoylett and Adele. But you've got Diakite, who's been very impressive. He's got legs, and a lot of the time last year where I think he won us the game single-handedly, people probably don't even notice, but he was picking the ball up, and when we were under pressure, no one really wanted to get the ball in the home games. He was getting it, and he was driving past his midfielders, and you'll see that a lot during the season. He can get the ball and take all the pressure off the team because he's running 20, 30, 40 yards with the ball past his attacking midfielder.
That's what I've really liked about Samba this year as well. As you said, he gets the ball. When he runs forward, he goes past them, and they don't want to challenge him, because when you've got a player running you at pace, you think, well, if you mistime the tackle, you could be sent off. And he sort of curbed slide tackles this season in no sense.
It was funny to see last week because I was watching the game with a friend and I said, have a look at this guy, he loves a tackle. And it was like he didn't want to touch anyone, did he?
No.
Yeah, I thought, what's going on?
First half only, I think.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. He didn't make a tackle first half, and then towards the end he thought, I probably can't get sent off now, so he started putting himself about.
Who is key going in the second half? We've got 2/3 of the season remaining. Who are going to be the key players? You mentioned Adele. I think that's everyone would certainly concede that he is key. If he performs well, then there's chances to win games and turn draws into victories, defeats into draws. Who else in that team is key? Ryan Nelson has started very well for QPR. QPR fans have really taken to him.
Yeah, I've seen Nelson. He's looked solid. But like I said, I think the formation, if we can keep this formation and try and keep the personnel the same, this three in the middle, Diakite with his athleticism, and then you have Fallin and Granero. I think that's a magnificent three in there. They're going to keep possession of the ball, and they're going to enable us to get Taarabt and Hoylett on the ball in the correct areas. Because unfortunately, you know, if you play too direct, the ball's not going to drop to them when you need them in the right places. So if we can keep more possession, control possession, which I know these three can do, and then we can find Adele and Hoylett in the right areas at the right time and have our fullbacks pushed on, we're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
And as players, really, we shouldn't be where we are. So if get a good result against Southampton, it does give the players a lift, and the players that we've got, we should be mid-table. They know that. So come this week, that's hopefully, as Richard said, beforehand, that come on, we really need to win this, guys, and then big sort of unit and get out there and go after them. Really,
That is the frustrating thing. It must be driving Mark Hughes and his management team absolutely insane. That the starting 11, even when we were at Stoke, you see the starting lineup and you think that is, particularly the midfield, but you think that is such a strong side.
So against Reading, I was looking at the players, thinking
so frustrating.
Players in Reading's team, apart from a few,
Yeah, absolutely. Again, as players, when you go into games that you feel you should be winning, you've got no right to win any game, obviously. But if you feel you should be winning and it's not happening, that must be so difficult to deal with.
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the biggest letdowns we had here, we were going through a real bad run of form. I think we were in League One. We played Cardiff at home. I don't know if you remember. It might have been a Tuesday night, and we hit the post within about 5 minutes. And
4-0, wasn't it?
We lost 4-0.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
basically. But that was demoralising because we were thinking we were on top of this game. I think they might have scored on the stroke of half time.
Yeah. Rob Earnshaw scored a hat-trick, I'm sure.
I remember Danny Shitu skived him down, absolutely left him on the floor and was like going, yeah, stay down, really intimidating him. Stay down, that's it, stay down, Earnshaw. And then he got up and got a hat-trick.
That's Danny's fault. Danny, it's your fault. He said that, not me. And now, I suppose, it's the big question. Is Saturday a must-win game? A lot of fans are certainly of the view, Brian Melzak mentioned earlier, it is a must-win game.
It's a must-win game for so many reasons. It will define what kind of show we have next week for starters. I think it's really important. I mean, the spotlight will be on. Look, there's two teams right at the foot of the table. We had this against Reading. No team had won. It ended up being a draw. You've got to win against teams around us. It is such an important victory. The great thing is we have got a sellout already against Southampton. The crowd will be really up for this game. I mean, it will be like we discussed earlier about playing a team near the bottom, a team near the top. They will make it feel like we're playing a team near the top. So that will be good as well. It won't be, fans will really be behind it. Okay, if we lose at the end, there'll be devastation. But I can tell you what, when it comes to big games, the fans get really behind their team, and I expect that on Saturday.
Must-win game for you?
Not necessarily. We got God knows how many games we've got left.
Well, that's it. We've got 27 games.
There you go. It's not a definite must-win. It would be nice to win, but I don't think we can. There's no need to start panicking just as yet if we lose, because there's so many more points to play for.
Okay, so preferably win, but don't panic if we lose, is the view of Richard Langley. Okay, you've been listening to London Calling. We'll be back at the same time next week, 7 o'clock on Thursday evening, to reflect, we hope, on a victory over the Saints and look forward to a trip to Old Trafford to face Manchester United. I'd like to thank Pete and in particular Richard Langley for joining us this evening. You've been watching London Calling.